How do you know when matchmaking is bugged? When it says bam, bam, match found, but you don't go into a game within 3 seconds, it's probably bugged. Oh my god, it's Kiwikaki again. They're making me work for the last 20. Kiwikaki is really good.
Greetings, friend.
He's using headhunters to keep this. He might be doing the headhunter cheese, but it's more likely just one base headhunters.
Excellent choice. Are you hero and obey? Are you hero and obey? Yes, yes, Lord. Are you hero and obey? I am yours. Yes. Are you hero and obey? Oh, I am yours. What do you want? Yes, Lord. Excellent choice. Yes. What do you want? I am yours. Are you hero and obey? Oh, yes, Lord. Excellent choice. Oh, Master, Doctor. Yes, Lord. Hey, I am yours. Are you hero and obey? Hey, excellent choice. What task is there? Hey, yes, excellent choice. Yes, yes, Lord. Are you hero and obey? Ha! What task is there? Master? Yes, Lord.
What you wanna kill?
I am yours. Yes, Lord. What do you want? Saksa. Smoke. Yes. Doctor. Saksa. I am yours.
What you want?
Yes, Lord. What task is there? I am yours.
What you wanna kill?
Yes, Lord.
You wanna act?
Oh. Yes, Lord. What do you want? Oh. Yes. Excellent choice. Are you hero and obey? Excellent choice. Excellent choice. Saksa.
What you want?
What task is there?
You got right.
Yes. I am yours. Excellent choice. Are you hero and
What
obey?
you want?
Master?
You got
What task is there? We're under attack! Huh? Yes, Lord. Master?
who you wanna kill? I do it. You wanna axe? Who you wanna kill?
What task is there? Yes, Lord.
What you want?
Yes?
You got
I am yours. Haste to my blade! We're under attack!
who you wanna kill?
What do you want?
You got
Oh, excellent choice.
Greetings,
Haste to
friend.
my blade!
you wanna
I am yours. Yes, yes, Lord. What task is there? Are you hero and obey? Yes? Yes, Lord. Excellent choice.
direct my who you wanna kill?
What do you want?
Who be my next?
What task is there?
Who do I kill first?
I am yours. Excellent choice.
Direct my
Yes, Lord.
blade. Move faster. We be charming.
I am yours. Are you hero and obey? Yes, Lord. Are you hero and obey? Oh, we're under attack. Yes, yes, Lord.
Who be my next big master? What you want? You got
We're complete. I am yours. Yes.
direct my
What task is there? Excellent choice.
who be my next big
This is where the spikes intensify.
Oh. Yes, Lord. Yes. I am yours. What task is there? Yes, Lord. Oh, haste to my blade. Excellent choice. Are you hero and obey?
right.
Oh, yes.
Be my next big damn. Use my power. Move faster.
Yes, Lord. Are you hero and obey? We're under attack.
Greetings, friend.
-70, kijk W.
What task is there?
Direct my
Master, time to die. Oh, yes. Research. What do you want?
pleasure.
What task
Greetings,
is there?
friend.
I am yours.
Move
Oh,
faster.
I am yours.
Pleasure.
Research complete.
Who be my next big
What
damn.
task is there?
Use my power.
Oh,
Big damn.
excellent choice. Yes, Lord. What do you want? What task is there?
What you want?
I am yours.
Hiding.
Hey, yes.
Direct my blade.
What do you want? Yes, Lord. Oh,
Big damn.
hey, ready to work. Yes, Lord. Ready to ride.
Yeah, man.
I am yours. Need something.
Big damn. Move faster. What you want? Direct my blade.
What task is there? Haste.
Use my power. Direct my blade.
Oh,
Who do I kill first? Right. We be charming.
yes, Lord.
Who be my next big damn. Who do I kill first? Who be my next big
Oh,
damn.
haste to my blade. Something in doing. I am yours.
Who be my next big damn.
Yes, Lord. Excellent. Rise. Research complete.
Be my next big damn. Use my power. It be
What
my
task is there?
Who be my next big damn? We be charming.
We're under attack.
Yeah,
Oh, Work complete.
My power. Move faster.
Master?
What you want?
Yes, Lord. Yes, I am yours. Yes, chieftain.
I am one.
Yes, Lord. I am yours.
I
Yes, Lord. Word passed in there. Something built. Oh, something. Yes, Lord.
We are in hiding. What trouble? Just as I
Yes, Lord.
direct my head.
Yes, chieftain. Word passed in there. Yes, Lord.
We are in hiding. I am one.
Yes, Lord. Word passed in there. I am yours.
I dream.
Yes, Lord.
Spirits of the earth.
Oh, say the
I
word.
dream.
I am yours. Yes, Lord.
Use
I am yours. Yes, chieftain. Oh. Word passed in there. Yes, Lord. Word passed in there. Ready to ride. I need something.
Because he lost his tiny grade, he cannot get. I mean, because he lost his shop, he cannot get tiny grade hole.
I am yours. Our town is under attack. Yes, Lord.
I dream.
Oh. I am yours. Oh, something. Excellent choice. Yes, Lord.
I dreamed of this.
Oh,
I
yes,
answer
Lord.
the call.
Yes, I am yours. Word passed there. I will hear and obey.
Direct my
I am yours. Excellent choice. Word passed is there. Yes, Lord. Need
I
something.
answer the call.
I am yours. Yes, word passed is there. Yes, Lord. Haste my blade. I am yours.
Answer the call.
Our town is under attack. What do you want?
Spirits of the earth.
We're under attack. You need something.
Direct my blade. I am one.
We're complete. Word passed is there.
Next
I am
I
yours.
answer the call.
Yes, Lord.
Who do I kill first?
Our town is under attack. We're
We are
complete.
enemies in
Something
hiding.
is doing.
We be Jarman.
Word passed is there. Yes, Lord.
Power.
Yes.
Will be my
We
next
need more men.
I am one.
Oh, yes. Word
I
passed is
answer
there.
the call.
Gosh. What do you want? Doogie doogie. Something is doing. Yes, Lord. Hey, yes. Hey.
We are enemies hiding. What troubles you? It is destiny. I am
I
one.
am yours. Yes, chieftain. Something is doing.
I answer the call. Just as I dream.
Oh, I am yours.
Spirits.
Yes, Lord. Need something. Take off. Ready to work. Face my speed.
Be the next big
No problem. Yes, chieftain. Oh, word passed is there.
Yes, you be the
Yes, chieftain. Under attack. Word passed is there. Doogie doogie. Need something.
troubles.
Oh, say the yes, Lord. Yes. Yes.
We are enemies in hiding.
Oh, yes, passed is there. Excellent choice.
I
Say the
trouble
word.
man.
What do you want?
You not?
Be happy. What do you want? Something need doing?
With this lag, it's so hard to imagine winning a fight against Bloodlust Warstorm. So I started a macro-based style.
And obey. Word task is there. We're under attack. What do you want? Word. Be happy to. Word. Yes, Lord.
You say
The
the
word.
word.
Oh,
I am
I
one.
am yours. Excellent choice.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord. Yes. I am yours. What do you want? I can do that. Yes. Oh. We're complete. What do you want? I am yours. We certainly.
He's winning because I'm over 50 and I lost my base.
Yes. Oh. Word task is there. Yes, Lord. Word task is there. I listen. Yes, Lord. I am yours. Word task is there. Yes. We're under attack. What do you want? Yes. Be happy to. What task is there? I am yours.
It is destined.
What trouble? Yes, Lord. Please,
I am ready to ride. Say the word.
What task is there? Oh. Yes, something. What task is there? Say the word.
Our enemies be
Yes, Lord. Excellent choice. Are you hero and
I am
obey?
one.
Yes. Are you hero and obey? Oh, I am yours. Yes. Oh. I am
Does he have Witch Doctor?
Yes.
Not yet. He has spikes. He probably finished bottom left creep, I would imagine.
What do you want? Work. We need more gold. Yes, Lord.
direct my blade.
I am yours.
So all the creeps are gone.
Yes, Lord.
And the sky is grey.
Oh, are you hero and obey? Yes. What task is there?
California dreaming.
Something me doing? I can do what you want. Who can do? Say the word.
I am one.
Yes, Lord. Say the word. Oh,
I answer.
yes, Lord. Oh, research. Yes, I did. Something me doing? Ready to work.
Spirits of the earth. I see. I am one.
What task is there? Oh, are you hero and obey? Excellent choice. What task is there? Wait, I am doing something. What task is there? Excellent choice. Oh, are you hero and obey? I am yours. Yes, yes, Lord. Oh, yes, excellent choice. Yes, Lord.
One.
Oh,
I
I
answer.
am yours. Need something.
Just as you strike. I am one.
Yes, Lord. Yes, I am yours. Yes. What task is there? I am yours. Are you hero and obey? Yes, Lord. Excellent choice.
I answer.
I am yours. Something.
Direct my blade.
Yes, Lord. Yes. Oh. What task is there? Yes, Lord. Oh.
I answer the call. It is destined. I dream.
Yes, Lord.
of
Something.
this. Mother Earth.
What task is there?
I am one.
Oh. I am yours. Something. Yes, Lord.
I guess he just wanted the shop access.
What task is there? We need more gold. We need more gold. Something. What task is there? I am yours. What task is there? Are you
He
hero
has
and
triple
obey?
dust.
Yes. Yes, Lord. I am yours. Need something.
I answer.
Yes. Are you hero and obey?
One. It is
Yes,
destined.
Lord. Need something. What task is there?
I answer.
Oh. Yes. What task is there? Need something.
What trouble?
Yes, Lord.
I
I am
answer
yours.
the call. I see.
What task is there? Oh, say the word. Yes, Lord.
I answer.
What task is there?
Guide spirits surround.
Yes, Lord. Excellent choice. Are you hero and obey? What task is there? I am yours. Oh, say the word. Task is there? I am yours. Please, something. Yes, Lord. I am yours.
Use
What task is there? Oh, yes. Here I am yours.
I answer just as I
Yes, Lord.
I see.
Oh, what task is there?
Guide me. It is
Oh, what task is there?
just as
Yes, Lord. Excellent choice. Yes,
I answer the call.
I am yours. Yes, work complete. Something needs doing. Work. Yes, Lord. Need
I am
something.
one with the earth.
Oh,
I answer
what
the call.
task is there? Need something. We're under attack. Yes, Lord. Yes. Let's ride. Work complete.
I am one.
Oh, need something. Yes, Lord. Not enough. I am yours. Yes, Yes!
Who'll be my next big
Oh!
death?
What trouble?
I see. It is destiny.
Something is doing? What task is there? I am yours.
I kill fast.
What task is there? Are you hero and obey? Yes, sir. What task is there? I am yours.
Direct my blade.
What task is there? Yes, sir. Work complete. I am
Who'll
yours.
be my next big death?
Yes. What task is there? Yes, Lord. Yes. Need something. Oh. Yes, Lord.
We are enemies.
I answer the word.
Spirits. Just as direct my
Yes, Lord.
blade.
Work your will and obey.
We are enemies. Be hiding. Who'll be my next big death?
I am yours. Yes. Something is doing? Yes. We're under attack. Yes, Lord.
I dream my power. Yeah, man.
Need something. I
Direct my blade. Right.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Chieftain. What task is there?
We are enemies. Be hiding.
Oh. Something is doing?
Surround.
Just what you want. I can do that. What task is there? Something is doing? What you want? I am yours. Yes! Yes,
Trouble, man.
What task is there?
Dreamed of this.
Oh, are you hero and obey?
Mother Earth.
Yes, Lord. What task is there?
Use
Yes,
my
Lord.
power.
What task is there?
Direct my blade. Use my power.
Our town is under attack.
Who'll be my next big death?
I am yours. What task is there?
We are enemies. Hiding.
I dreamed of this. I am yours.
Direct my blade.
Oh,
Greetings,
what
friend.
task is there? Yes, yes, Lord.
Who'll be my next big death? We be John.
Oh,
Direct
yes,
my
Lord.
blade.
I am yours. Yes, I dreamed of this. Yes, Lord. Say the word.
I see. Just as
We're under attack. Now, yes, Chieftain. I am yours. What task is there? Something is
will
doing?
be my next big death.
Yes, Lord. What task is there? Oh, I am
We
yours.
are enemies.
Excellent choice. What task is there? I am yes, Lord. Yes, Chieftain. We're under attack.
I am one. Earth guide spirits, just as I
What task is there? Oh, say the word. What task is there? Oh, need something. Yes, Lord. What task is there?
We are one.
I am yours. Yes, Lord. I am yours. What task is there? Yes, I am yours.
Trouble just as
Yes, Lord. Wait, are you hero and obey? Yes. We're under attack.
be my
What
next
task is
big
there?
death.
Yes, Lord.
Hello.
Oh,
Who do I kill first?
yes, Lord. Say the word. Task is there.
Give me a pleasure. We are enemies hiding. Right.
I am yours. Excellent choice. I am not enough matter. What task is there? Oh, wait, yes, excellent choice. Need something. Yes, sir. Yes, I am yours.
Spirits surround. Use my
Yes, Lord. We're under attack. Wait, excellent choice. Yes, Lord. Oh, yes. Yes, Lord. I am one. I am yours.
We are
What
enemies.
task is there? I am yours. Yes, I am hero. Obey. Yes, Lord. Excellent choice. I am. Oh, are you hero and obey?
Do I kill first? Be
Yes, Lord. Yes.
We are
Say the word.
hiding.
Word passes then. Yes, Lord. I am yours. Oh,
My answer is my power. It is destiny.
I am yours then. Oh, I am
My
yours.
next big
Need
I
something.
dream.
Word passes then. Yes, Lord.
I answer the Lord. Now,
Word passes there. Oh, word passes there. Ha! What do you want? Yes, Lord. Are you hero and
I am one.
We need more gold. Okie dokie. I can do that. I am yours. Say the word. What do you want? Word. Yes, I can do that. Yes, word passes there. Yes, Lord.
I dream like his father.
We're under attack.
Hiding. I kill fast. We be Jarman.
Ready to ride. Word passes there. I am yours. Yes. Please. Say the word. Word passes there. We're under attack. Say the word. Yes, Lord. Yes. Let's ride. Word passes there. Our town is under attack. Yes, Lord. Take to my face. Oh. Word passes there. Now, yes, Lord. Word passes there. I am yours. Yes, Lord. Need something. Now, I am no mind to collapse. I am our town is under attack.
GG. I would say that was probably the closest game so far. Reminds me a lot of a game against Luciferon for the Blizzard tournament, BlizzCon. Also Echo also took both expansions and losing them and hit and running. Bam.
Greetings, friend.
He had a strong army that we couldn't really fight. I don't know his upgrades on Headhunters. I had 1/1 grants and raiders. Grubby, why not just destroy his army?
Greetings,
Just some
friend.
berserkers, lol. It's stronger than you think. It's stronger than you think. Why did you take that middle fight? Well, I had run out of space to run. No pun intended. And he was kind of catching me
I
for the
thank
second
you.
time.
Hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube. Thanks, Sadayu. I had run out of space to run for the second time. Shamans were about to connect with me for the second time. He had about 5 shamans and they were leading.
Greetings, friend.
So I thought if I take a fight, even a slightly inefficient fight, it's gonna achieve 2 objectives. One, I'm gonna reset his shaman count, which is his best way of catching me. Mana units are the most valuable in long fights like this, in long games like this,
Greetings,
because
friend.
just think about it. The mana on the spirit walkers that I had provided all the free experience via wolves. They provided base defense via defending wolves. Mana on my shadow hunter provided the healing that my army needed, much cheaper than healing salve. And mana on his shamans provided his movement speed, his DPS, and his catching mechanic on my units. So when you can eliminate the opponent's mana units in a low econ base trade type of game, it's more valuable than headhunters. So he should rather like to kill my walkers than my raiders, and I should rather like to kill his shamans than his headhunters. The difference, of course, is that raiders do have the siege potential to take down his buildings, whereas walkers don't really. What mistakes did he make? I feel like he played it really well. He positioned well, he scouted well, he harassed. At this point, I don't even know that there was an obvious mistake. I don't even know that I'm able to analyze that. Just that his strategy is a different strategy than someone else's. So Grunt Raider Walker is one thing, Shaman Bloodlust is another. You can't say, well, just play a different strat, because, you know, that's his strat. So he plays within the confines of. It's not really that explored because his build was only competitively viable a few times. None of the Asian orcs ever played this. Just Rotterdam, the fellow Dutch orc player. He's beaten me before with Headhunter Bloodlust. And now there's Kiwikaki. And then there's the Smurfer. And competitively, only Rotterdam has done it and won with it, as far as I know, in Orc Mirror. You know, in relevant matches. Go over the replay, please, from his POV. I think it'll be very interesting, actually. I think he camped his base to get 2 spiked barricade upgrades. Why he didn't build second base? He can't. He's already trying to defend one base versus Mass Raider. He builds a second, becomes an easy attack target for me. The only reason he was even able to keep his tower standing, the symbolic tower of his survival, is because he was long-term camping his solo base, recognizing that there was little on the map that he really needed to contest right now. Grubby versus Grubby. There's still some bugs. There will be bugs. I'm sending it as feedback. I think he needed to fight you more sooner or expand earlier. You know, these are possible theories. But I'd be very hesitant to confidently state, and I know you didn't confidently state it, I'd be very hesitant to confidently state, without seeing the replay, what he could have done. Considering he invented this build, he was a pro in SE2, he was a pro in Warcraft 3. He has a meticulous attention to detail. He's very smart. He was successful in poker, and I think still is. Doesn't mean he can't be wrong, but to simply throw out there, I think he should have expanded, is quite unlikely to be the most real answer, because it's kind of an oversimplification of a game that has a lot of nuance. It's very possible that the difference in these games is he forgot to turn on Berserker attack one time, or he should have moved in direction A or B 2 seconds earlier. You know, those kind of things. You can't just... theoretically, I would say that it's the wrong thing to do when your opponent specializes in base trade to expand. It's better to hunker down on single base defenses. And the best time for him to expand is when I killed the Voodoo Lounge. Thank you for the subs, by the way. J. Paramours, Payne, Corvus, Glavy, Lutz, Bubble, Duper, Serayu, Jupi, Fausruk, and Stiastra. So apparently this bug is the same bug as the replay win bug. It simply doesn't recognize it as a replay yet. My initial theory is that what he could have done, and I wouldn't have been confident during the game from his POV, but especially looking back, what he could have done is build more towers. Morphtronic Stapland said, "Hey, old HOTS viewer, don't traditionally watch Warcraft 3, so sorry if it's a stupid question, but is this the original Warcraft 3 or the remake? I was told they made the old game inaccessible, but these look like the old visuals." You are correct on both counts. The old game is inaccessible online at least, but I am on the toggle of classic mode while playing Reforged, the new version. Not a stupid question at all. So he did an 8 peon tech at 22 food. His town hall was very accessible for you. Blocking it with barracks maybe could have won the game. So he didn't have another barracks, right? If he had built a second barracks here, I would have said it's a mistake not building it here. But initially building the barracks here comes with its own disadvantages. I can grant Blade block new headhunters. There is a reason why he places his buildings where he places them. There's a cubby hole here for headhunters to escape through. If he builds it here, I can block it off right there. Now he has a choice where to spawn it as well. So there are reasons. Are you famous for late game attrition gameplay? Yes. I think it's my most stylistic claim to fame. One time I went to China after I basically retired. I played some tournament. And I was the worst player on my team. I was like the coach, but I also played, and I picked from... it was like a draft. I picked from Chinese and Korean players who I wanted on my team. We ended up getting second, mostly because the two guys I picked were friends, so they had good synergy, and they were skilled, and they had a good day and a good tournament. So they basically won a lot of games. I won like one game, but they won a lot of games. We got second in the 8-team tournament, so I finished above a lot of active pros. But the funny thing is... well, that was kind of funny too, but the funny thing is... the night of guy, Zhou Shishi, he was coaching me on how to play. He was telling me that my burrow base layout style, which is generally something like this, 2 burrows on opposite sides of a great hole, he was saying that's outdated now, my old style. I need to build like how Focus builds, 1 burrow here, then barracks, shop, and an altar. Anyway, he was coaching me how to build my burrows. And I was like, okay, cool. I played pretty bad that game. I lost to some elf I never heard of. Then I played against an undead, and he's like, okay, this guy is weak against Grubby style. I'm like, what's Grubby style? He's like, you know, Raider, go undead home, go undead home. I'm like, okay. Raider laming. I see. He's like, yeah, in China we call Raider laming Grubby style. I'm like, okay, cool. Then I went Raider laming and I won. Yeah, runner abuser style. It's like, cool, thanks for the advice.
I thank you.
Take it, I love you, BB.
I'll take it, if you're giving it. So, I want to show you guys what Farseer is doing right now, what Kiwi is doing right now. Imagine, someone tells you to play Farseer and Headhunters and to do some creeping. And you do this with your mind being a blank slate, not knowing the strength timings, the weak timings, the pitfalls, the risks, and so on. How would you play? You would creep this, you would then creep this, you would then creep something else. Maybe this, maybe then you creep something else. And you don't really know because you've never been punished with it before, you've never played the build before. Suddenly, without being prompted, for the most part, Kiwikake puts all his headhunters behind his base. Why? Because he has learned from his games. Around this time is when the Shadowhunter comes out. Now, I will give you this mine is late because I went for a special build this game, specifically crafted to try and deal with Kiwi. Way more grunts, way more early game creeping. Ergo, my blade is level 3. But around this time, he figures Shadow comes out and he has lost headhunters in the past. The guy is probably 200 IQ or something. He's really smart. Keeps his headhunters at home. Wants to wait till TC is out. Wants to wait till Shaman is out. And look, my blade is ready, level 3. 9 armor, Talisman of Evasion. Had they been anywhere on the map at all, I would have killed 1, I would have killed 2. So, you know, he's learned from... That's why you need to be so careful to say, he could just do this. Because he's already experienced everything with the build. That's what happens when you play one build 500 times. Ergo, concordingly. Consequently. Anyway. Minus 70, minus 200 Kek W. Okay, so this time he's letting his burrow finish because he analyzed that the Blade Master's threat ratio on his peon line is such that he'd rather have a full wall off now than not. Look, he even stopped mining with his 2 peons on the tree so as to never open it up. He knows if he double tap TP he will go here. He can also aim his TP here. And he knows shamans can fit through these cracks, as can peons. So there's really no need for him to be able to access the back of his base. He's got Dust of Appearance. Together with Purge and Stomp, he's got decent pressure play on my blade. I could be trying to fight him now, but instead I'm aiming for a level 3 Shadow Hunter. Maybe fighting him is better. I was trying something new this game, super fast expo, knowing that he's waiting until Bloodlust to fight. I figured that gives me time to put up an expansion, and not whining here, but I have to be realistic about my lag here. 250 ping is one thing, big spikes is another. I will say that Bloodlust will beat any strat if you're both lagging. You will even beat Destroyers with Bloodlust Headhunters, simply because it's autocast. Right, so if you both lag spike 5 seconds, someone is doing a lot of damage. The other guy can't dispel. So it's not about baby rage, but just about being realistic. Had I had top ping, I would try to fight him somewhere, but I have to play to the situation. Sometimes I had bad days in pro gaming, and I could feel my micro was off that day. I'll also play more Grubby style. Because I cannot rely on micro that day. So I'll just rely on macro. Sometimes Kappa. Oh, thank you, Bazzy. I always sucked bad at micro, ergo I could only... Yeah, very funny, Haas. Very funny, thank you. Which one of those Grubbies is Grubby? The left one is Kiwi. Let's see. He is actually blue and I'm pink.
Under attack.
Okay, so from his point of view, he gets this Purge here. He has no Bloodlust yet. Gets a kill, TC3. That's huge. He's also got 3 rings of protection. 1 on TC, 1 on Farseer. 50 gold. War Mail. No fortified defenses. And he's low on lumber because this is an expensive strategy for him. At this point, I use a TP, killing a shop and killing 2 wolves, and I lost the priest. So that's a good trade for him. I just lost 500 gold, and I killed only maybe 130 gold, right? So that's a good monetary trade for him, but that's okay because I'm mining 2 bases, right? So I'm gonna do the same thing again with TP. I think pillage is finished as well. So normally at this time I figure Kiwikaki might expand. If you look at his resources, he doesn't quite have enough. 80 more lumber, 200 more gold, and he can. But that's about the cost of this shop. So he was actually seconds away from being able to purchase and make a tiny great hole. I think this was his best attack timing. We're both on 50 food, and he's got Feral Spirit Harass opportunity on my expansion because I don't have a burrow there. Had he thrown down an expansion and roughly camped in between 2 of the bases, I do believe he may have been able to push over 50 while getting enough peons to saturate his expansion, still get enough lumber, and kind of defend both while trying to do Feral Spirit Harass. It would have been very scary for us. In terms of the feedback of he should just expand, he lost his timing because I killed the shop. So that was, I must admit, I was not fully planning it like that, but after I killed the shop, I was like, I should do this again next time because it's very key. He can't even buy a town portal in his main base right now because he has no shop. So he's walked all the way here and he's gonna buy a TP, but he doesn't have gold. He does have gold, he just got it on TC. So at this point we're trading TPs when I'm mining twice as much and pillaging his base as well, getting a lot of money from that. So now it's a really good trade for me. But what he did do very well is Bloodlusted, Feral Spirit Harass. We lost something like 3 peons and more mining time. Bloodlusted, Direwolf level 2 are pretty much as good as level 3 Feral Spirits that don't have Bloodlust. Very high DPS. So now I'm 61 food, I have TP again and I'm gonna go again. He knows this, so he's gonna go here, he's gonna get the TP and he's gonna send Feral Spirits. And he hopes he makes it here quickly enough to do serious damage that doesn't just rely on Feral Spirits. Just expand, someone said, but look at his money, right? I'm not going to be able to give him that kind of time that he can expand. He doesn't have the lumber, he doesn't have the gold. It's a race against time for him to try and make my expansion not pay for itself. Even though he knows I have superior siege damage. So it's a very tough situation. I talked about DPS, Tyler. And now he's trying to kill this. Did he turn on Berserk? I don't think he did. Oh, whoa, whoa! Whoa, whoa! So now he's almost out of money. See, I told you guys, there's gonna be a situation where he forgets to turn on Berserk upgrade, and it's gonna cost him a little bit of money, a little bit of time, and it's gonna matter a bit, and that's more likely to be a determining factor than why didn't he use his giant bank to expand, because he doesn't have a bank. Now, at this moment, he has no shop, no TP, he cannot leave his base again. So he's gonna have to mine a lot on 50 food, gradually make a shop again. And now he's getting spiked barricades level 1, which is a good call. And I feel like he needs level 2 spiked barricades as well. Before he leaves, he should get a town portal. The harass he's doing is good. And ideally, 1 barracks in front, 1 or 2 towers here, or maybe like 1 tower here, 1 here, so that I cannot wedge in between. Or he can make 2 towers here. Doesn't have the lumber yet though. He knows he's up against a second base. I'm 65 food. Actually, no, he killed the second base. He might be wary that I might make another one. So actually, there isn't that much pressure on him. It's just lack of lumber for him. All that repairing on the fortress really cost him so far. Earlier, I said he should build a barracks to block access. I meant he should build it at this moment. You do it like that with human, with forged lumber mill to block opponents. Right. But lumber mill is 170 gold, and with masonry can have over 1,000 health, and also 5, 6, 7 armor. What's wrong with the stream title? No, it's good. Lumber mill is 170 gold, war mill is 205. Lumber mill is bigger. Barracks cost lumber, and he doesn't have excess lumber right now. And you don't get that like 7, 8 armor that lumber mill can have. So it is definitely cheaper with human. Oh, lumber mill is 120 gold now. So cheap. 120. So it's almost half the cost of a war mill, and it's 50% less gold than a barracks. So he did make 1 tower, but look, he has no lumber for another tower. He is getting 2nd level spikes, which was huge. Puts a lot of damage on his... You know what? Yeah. He could have left 1 shaman at home to lightning shield my raiders, even though I would disenchant. That could still be something that adds a little bit of extra damage. So he's actually decided to push over 50 food. Instead of a 50 food value stay, more towers. If anything, I think this might be one of the most fateful decisions he's made. Had he stayed at 50 and make 3, 4 towers, it may have just been enough to dissuade me from being able to do such a push. Or at least if I do it, I may lose more when I do it. Of course, his army wouldn't be as scary, and I might be able to pick a fight in the open more readily. But I think it's merited. Right now, he's even got bank to make 3 towers, and he doesn't. Still no extra towers. He's getting armor upgrade. I feel like it's a misreading of the situation. He's got 2-0 headhunter. I might be wrong, of course, but he's getting this really nice 70 food army. Maybe it's the right thing to do, because he gets an army that can actually win instead of like lose. But he's got money right now. So he spends his final money on a TP. Level 3 spike is better than 3 towers. There is no more level 3 spike. He should have both. I'm not saying one or another. He definitely needed spikes level 2, Tyler. He just got it. I already said that. But he also needs towers. He needs both. Suddenly he's got lumber. So he puts all his peons on auto repair. Near his Great Hall. Because he knows it's going to be a base trade. So imagine now he had 3 towers. Look how low the units drop. Yeah, I don't know if it would have like definitively helped him. So he kills my main base. But he doesn't leave feral spirits in my expansion before he leaves. Even though of course I would have dispelled them. But I guess it would have been a prudent thing to do. From his side it seems pretty desperate. Pretty dire, he's got no money.
Work complete. We're under attack. Work complete.
Oh cool, he put like a peon everywhere to see me. Right, he cannot allow me to get to his base once. Because he's only got the 4 buildings and they're all burning. I didn't hear him using Berserker upgrade all that much. He did not use it here either. There we go, now he used it. Could have used it a little earlier to do more damage. And then he would have it available again sooner. He's 51 food, I'm 50. He won that fight pretty big. Imagine Headhunter upgrade goes on a little quicker. Helps with tipping the balance in his favor more readily. He had no mana for Hex. He was like 68 mana when my blade was 100 life post stun. Had he hexed, I might have lost my blade there. I might have lost the game there. Imagine how close. 68 mana, I think.
We're under
Berserker
attack.
upgrade cannot be dispelled. The toggle. Yeah, I think so too, Bazzy.